Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Yeshi Chanzom. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Thursday, the 21st of January. India's health minister says vaccination will be last nail in coffin of COVID-19. Activists blame Pakistan's ballistic missile test injured civilians in Balochistan. And coronavirus vaccines gifted by India reach Nepal and Bangladesh. And now for all the details. Amid concerns over adverse events following immunization and incomplete clinical trial of COVID-19 vaccines in India, the country's health minister Harsh Vardhan has said vaccination will be the last nail in the coffin of COVID-19 and that misinformation about it is being spread. The minister, while advocating the vaccination program, said that side effects surfacing in some people are common.
India's Health Minister Dr. Harsh Vardhan, while advocating the efficacy of COVID-19 vaccines amidst concerns over adverse events following immunization in the country, has said vaccination will be proven the last nail in the coffin of COVID-19. Harsh Vardhan made the remarks on Thursday as he released posters on vaccine efficacy in order to help people overcome the hesitancy hurdle. He said side effects surfacing in some people are common. India has vaccinated close to 800,000 healthcare workers against COVID-19 and at least 600 adverse events have been reported following the immunization across the country.
कोविड का खात्मा भी करने में जिसे कहते हैं कि जो लास्ट नेल इन द कॉफिन ऑफ कोविड, वो ये हमारा जो कोविड-19 का वैक्सीनेशन ये सिद्ध होगा। लेकिन दुर्भाग्य की बात है कि देश में कुछ लोग जानबूझकर, समझते हुए भी, जानते हुए भी केवल राजनीतिक कारणों से जो वैक्सीनेशन है उसके खिलाफ गलत दुष्प्रचार करते हैं।
India is currently administering the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, locally known as Covishield, manufactured by the Serum Institute of India and the Bharat Biotech manufactured Covaxin. Meanwhile, a fire broke out on Thursday at a plant being built for the Serum Institute of India, but this would not affect production of the coronavirus vaccines, reports suggested. A thick cloud of smoke was seen rising from the plant of the world's biggest producer of vaccines located in Pune. 10 fire tenders were rushed to the site till the last reports came in.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while extending wishes to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris on assumption of office as the President and the Vice President of the United States, has said he is hopeful that Indo-US relationship will be more robust now.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated Joe Biden and Kamala Harris on assumption of office as President and the Vice President of the United States. Taking to Twitter, PM Modi said he is looking forward to work with Biden to strengthen India-US strategic partnership. Modi said Kamala Harris's oath-taking is a historic occasion and that he hopes India-USA relations will be more robust now. Kamala Harris made history on Wednesday when she was sworn in as Joe Biden's vice president, becoming the first woman, the first black American and the first Asian American to hold the second highest US office. Meanwhile, the Indian uncle of Harris, who lives in South Delhi, said he was happy to hear her speak as she made her first speech as the vice president of the United States.
No, Kamala's speech is all right. She's a good speaker, so that I was not, she didn't throw any surprise. She mentioned her mother, as she often does, I was happy about that.
Harris was born in California to an Indian mother and a Jamaican father, who both immigrated to the United States to study. Looking ahead, Harris is seen as an obvious contender for the Democratic Party's 2024 presidential nomination should Biden decide not to seek a second term. Harris has yet to weigh in publicly on such speculation.
In news from Pakistan, Activists have alleged Wednesday's Shaheen-3 ballistic missile test by Pakistan Army was a massive failure as it landed in a civilian area in Balochistan and injured several people. They blame Balochistan has been turned into a laboratory and Pakistani security forces have been committing war crimes in the region.
Baloch activists have blamed Pakistan's Shaheen-3 missile conducted on Wednesday was a massive failure as the missile landed in a residential area in Balochistan's Dera Bukti and injured several civilians and destroyed their houses. Pakistan Army had, however, claimed test fire of the nuclear-capable surface-to-surface ballistic missile was successful. Baloch Republican Party or BRP said on Twitter that the security forces had evacuated all their posts in the area, but the missile was detonated in the presence of civilians in the area. Sher Mohammad Bukti, the central spokesman of BRP, alleged that the Pakistani army has turned Balochistan into a laboratory. Other activists and lawmakers also raised concerns over Pakistani state's obsession with violence that cost lives in the region, as they highlighted how a 1998 nuclear missile test still haunts people. Activists have long blamed Pakistan Army functions with impunity and has been committing war crimes in Balochistan. Removal of Pakistan's nuclear weapons and an investigation into the effects and aftermaths of nukes in Balochistan has been a long-standing demand.
More news from Pakistan. Traders and industrialists have lamented the lack of business-friendly policies of Prime Minister Imran Khan-led government for strained economy in Pakistan. There is a discontent over Khan's handling of the economy, which was tanking even before the coronavirus pandemic struck.
Traders and industrialists have lamented the lack of business-friendly policies of Prime Minister Imran Khan-led government for poor state of businesses in Pakistan amid the ongoing economic crisis. A Karachi-based businessman said Pakistan has an import-based economy, which is one of the main factors of rising inflation in the country. Realizing the negative impact, the government should make all-out efforts to switch to export-based economy by strengthening the local industries. He said Pakistan needs more investment for growth, but it won't come in till the economy does a little better.
आपको इंडस्ट्रीज लगाने की ज़रूरत है, आपको नए काम जनरेट करने की ज़रूरत है, जिन पे आप बाहर से जो चीज़ें आती हैं उन पे आप कुछ हद तक पाबंदी लगा दें, टैक्सेस बढ़ा दें बाहर वाली चीज़ों पे, यहाँ पे आप कम कर दें, इंडस्ट्री को मौका तो दें। यहाँ तो आप दिन ब दिन टैक्सेस बढ़ाते जा रहे हैं कि यहाँ वाला तो बाहर भाग रहा है, बैंक में पैसा रखने से डर रहे हैं लोग।
The state of the economy and increase in unemployment have also been key points in the narrative put out by the joint opposition in Pakistan that has been holding a series of protests. There is a discontent over PM Imran Khan's handling of the economy, which was tanking even before the global coronavirus pandemic struck.
In news from Afghanistan, Afghan lawmakers have threatened to approve the budget plan through the parliament's own amendments if the government fails to address the demands of the parliament in the budget plan. Lawmakers earlier this week said they have rejected the budget plan for many reasons, namely the ambiguity around over $193 million increase in the ordinary budget for the current fiscal year that started on December 21.
Lawmakers in Afghanistan's parliament have threatened to approve the budget plan through the parliament's own amendments if the government fails to address the demands of the parliament in the budget plan. The Speaker of Walisi Jirga, the lower house of parliament, Mir Rahman Rahmani, said that this year the Ministry of Finance has not been allowed to prepare the budget plan, alleging that the National Security Council and the Administrative Office of the President have prepared the budget plan. Lawmakers earlier this week said that the rejection of the budget plan for the second time occurred for many reasons, namely the ambiguity around the $193 million increase in the ordinary budget for the current fiscal year that started on December 21. The Financial and Budget Committee of the Walisi Jirga said that based on the budget plan, the government is removing 13,000 public servants, but it has increased the ordinary budget from which the salaries of government employees are paid. Meanwhile, Afghan presidential advisor Wahid Umar has said that the reasons given by parliament for rejecting the draft budget plan are not legitimate, stating that the government and the parliament should continue their discussions to finalize the budget plan.
Moving on, A day after Bhutan and the Maldives received COVID-19 vaccines under a grant assistance program from India, nearly 1 million doses reached Nepal and 2 million to Bangladesh on Thursday. As part of its neighborhood first policy, New Delhi has announced a vaccine rollout for several neighboring countries from Wednesday, as India uses its strength as one of the world's biggest makers of generic drugs to bolster its vaccine diplomacy. A plane carrying the first shipment of Indian-manufactured COVID-19 vaccines arrived in Nepal's capital of Kathmandu on Thursday. India's ambassador to Nepal, Vinay Mohan Kwatra, handed over the shipments of the Covishield vaccine to Nepal's Health Minister Hridayesh Tripathi. Nepal officials have said that medical staff and frontline workers will be given first priority for inoculations. The Himalayan nation has reported 268,310 cases and 1,975 deaths from COVID-19 so far, according to official data.
नेपाल को धरती में वैक्सीन उतार्न सफल भयो। यसको लागि म भारत सरकार, प्रधानमन्त्री माननीय नरेन्द्र मोदी ज्यू र भारतीय जनतालाई नेपाल सरकारको तर्फबाट, हाम्रा प्रधानमन्त्री सम्माननीय केपी शर्मा ओलीजीको तर्फबाट र नेपाली जनताको तर्फबाट,
they say that every ending has a beginning. I think this beginning of joint cooperation between India and Nepal marks probably, hopefully, the end of the COVID pandemic, at least in Nepal.
Meanwhile, trucks transporting coronavirus vaccines donated from India also arrived in the Bangladesh capital of Dhaka on Thursday. Bangladesh turned to India for urgent supplies after co-financing vaccine issue with China, and on Thursday received 2 million shots of the AstraZeneca vaccine as a gift from India. Bangladesh's Health Secretary Mohammad Abdul Manan earlier on Wednesday said that the government will kick off a dry run of vaccination on January 27 or 28 by giving the shot to over 20 health workers. Many low and middle income countries are relying on India, the world's biggest vaccine maker, for supplies to start COVID-19 immunization programs and bring an end to their outbreaks. India's northeastern Tripura state observed 43rd Kokborok Day with great fervour and a grand colourful procession. Kokborok Day is celebrated in the state every year on 19 January to commemorate its recognition of Kokborok as an official language in 1979. Kokborok is a native language of Tripura, spoken for thousands of years among the Tripuri community. India's northeastern Tripura state on Tuesday observed the 42nd anniversary of the recognition of Kokborok dialect as an official language of the state with a series of programs and colourful events. People from different tribal communities of Tripura came together to celebrate the day by organizing a colourful procession and cultural program. Hundreds of youths in indigenous attire and jewelries danced to the tune of tribal music and songs. Cultural programs, literary activities were the main highlights of the festival. Kokborok is a native language of Tripura spoken for thousands of years among various tribes.
Agi to sini borok rok simin palai jongmani tabo kanke college school de joto jaga wono Kokborok de palai yani rezakha de Kokborok de joto nusuk palai le jongo ke isam boko
हर साल ये लैंग्वेज डिमोलिश हो जा रहा है क्योंकि ये चर्चा नहीं हो रहा है, इसलिए हम लोग चर्चा चाहिए लैंग्वेज को बचाने के लिए और बस के रखने के लिए ये रिटर्न फॉर्म में आना चाहिए। हर साल बुक प्रिजर्व होना चाहिए और क्योंकि जो प्रिजर्व होगा तभी वो आने वाला जो बच्चे लोग हैं उन लोग देखेंगे।
Kokborok Day is celebrated in the state every year on 19 January to commemorate its recognition of Kokborok as an official language in 1979. Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/AsAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @AsAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.